Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is all about fostering habits that lead to a healthier body and a healthier mind. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice standing in the middle of the mat with equal play on both sides and just start to rock into the hips. Keep that motion going and begin to find a little playful release through the wrists in both directions. Come to stillness and start to release into the ankles. Making sure that you rock side to side, and when you're tracing those releases into the ankles, that you trace both directions, same with the wrists. Let's find our second ankle. Just adding a little bit of balance into the mix. Come back to a wide stand and start to trace a windmill-like forward stroke through the arms, maybe keeping that movement going into the hips. Let's backstroke it. Then let's bring that release into the hips. Tracing a few lazy circles in one direction and then a few in the opposite. Let's do the same to the second side. Then find your way to a wide stand. Feet, let's say, wider than your hips. We're going to do a half helicopter spin to either side and then a deep half squat. We're reaching the arms out in front. We're keeping our stance nice and wide today, working into those inner thighs. Using some dynamic movement in the beginning of our practice, just to limber up the body, to get into those tight nooks and crannies so that we can play deeper as our practice progresses. Then come to a nice wide stand. Place your hands on your thighs or on your hips and fold forward into a wide table. We're going to play table and stand. Stay here or begin to play with the arms, looking for a reach back, maybe even a reach back and an interlace, maybe a reach back and a fist. Then open up your feet just a little bit wider and start to side lunge, but keep your feet tracking forward. Then add a forward fold, maybe coming through the table, and start to play. Some lunges. And a wide forward fold. Then hold your next forward fold and start to look for some rotations, tapping to the floor or maybe tapping to your shins or your thighs. We're going to end in the rotation facing the back end of the mat. We're going to pivot to set up a high lunge with our back heel off the floor. And then we're going to start to play one high lunge, one wide pyramid, bending and extending the lead leg. We're going to add in extension on both legs. We're going to hold that wide pyramid line. Then we're going to rotate. We're going to set up that wide standing straddle without twisting or rotating motion, tapping to the mat or the leg line as we alternate twisting side to side, warming up through the trunk. This time we're going to end rotated towards the top end of the mat. We're going to hold the rotation for a second or two before we pivot to face the front end of the mat in a high lunge and begin to play. One bend, one extend on the lead leg. We're going to end in the extension, hold it. Then take a step to the top end of the mat. Ragdoll up, we're going to formulate a salutation like mini flow. Hands to prayer in a high mountain. Big breath in as we take a standing back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Step back into 4-point kneeling for some cat-cow play. Find your way into a long tabletop stretch. Bend your elbows, hug them in towards the ribs as you work a modified chaturanga down onto the belly. Come into a small cobra chest lift. Add a double leg lift. Sweep the arms back and transform yourself into a beautiful hollow-like locust frame. Then tuck your toes under, ground your feet, press up into an up dog. So you've dropped your hips through the plank line, but you've got strong arms and strong core. Down dog it and take your dog for a walk. Then start to walk your legs forward, coming into a soft ragdoll fold. Lead it up, hands to heart center. Big breath in, find your back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Step back into your 4-point kneel and start to cat-cow. One hollow, one round. And in that long tabletop line, bend the elbows, find your way down onto the belly, find your cobra chest lift, add a leg lift, add an arm lift. Grow through your fingertips, toes, and ground. Tuck your toes under, ground your feet, press up into an up dog. Down dog it, and walk it out. Start to walk your feet forward. Ragdoll up. Hands to heart center. Big breath in, find your back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Step back into 4-point kneeling and begin to find your cat-cow flow. Inhaling for the hollow back. Exhaling for the round back. End in your table. Chaturanga down. Cobra chest lift. Leg lift. Arm lift. Tuck your toes under. Press up into your up dog. Then maybe hold your next down dog. Stretching arms, legs, spine. Walk your way in. Roll it up. Hands to heart center. Standing back bend. Fold forward. Cat-cow. Tabletop to chaturanga, cobra to leg lift to arm lift, setting up your locust. Tuck toes under and ground, pressing up into an up dog, and then a down dog hold. Walk it up. Lead it up, hands to heart center. One more full round. Big breath in for your back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Step it back and set up your cat cow. Square up in table. Find your way down onto the belly and bleed into a seamless locust. Transition to an up dog, then a down dog. Walk or step up. Maybe you want to take a hop. Bleed up, hands to heart center. Last time, find your back bend. Find your fold. Start to flow through some cat cows. Square up. Chaturanga to locust. Up dog to down dog. Walk, step or hop up. Roll it up. Hands to heart center. We'll start to hold the poses for a little bit longer, finding our way from mountain, Tadasana, into a down dog frame. Take a big breath in, softly fold forward, and then step back into your down dog frame. Anchor your heels, stretch from your hips to the heels of your feet, from your shoulders to the heels of your palms. Try to stretch and lengthen the entire spinal line. Hold and breathe. Start to play dynamically on the right leg. Soften the knee, kick up into a three-legged dog, and then think knee up plank and start to play. Use the knee up action to find your way into a low lunge, releasing the back, knee, shin and foot, maybe bleeding up and thinking hands to sky, or maybe interlace and invert those arms as you come into your crescent lunge. Thinking hollow back, pausing here, looking to stretch into those tight areas. Then uninterlace the hands and drop both to the inside of the lead leg. Lift your back foot off the floor, reach back opposite hand to foot, right arm to left foot. And then lean forward, but open up the front leg into a lizard line by splaying the foot slightly out. If binding to the back leg is not an option, release the foot, find the step out on the lead leg, but press with your right palm. Press the inseam of the right leg out. Find your flavor of lizard and hold. We're going to set up a really wide open triangle from here. Relax the hold on that back foot and square up your front foot. Maybe placing your right hand to the floor on the inseam of that lead leg. You're going to take a warrior two step out on the back leg and you're going to straighten up the lead leg, looking to open up your arms into a T-like frame. You could do hands to shin or hands to thigh, or you could modify with a block if need be. Hold your open triangle, breathe into it. High lunge comes next. Start to bend your lead leg. Start to pivot on the back foot. Bring the heel off the mat. Maybe reaching the arms up in front, or maybe overhead with an interlace and an invert. You could release the back, knee, shin and foot to the floor if you need support. Hold your high lunge, look for balance, look for control. We're going to release from here into a shoelace seat on the floor. Frame your lead leg with both hands as you drop into the floor, and then release the back knee and cross over the midline with your foot. Then sit back, making space for your left bum on the floor, and cross the right leg over the left, knife edging your feet, making sure you're actually sitting on both of your bum bones, not just the left. Grab for your toes, hug them in, sit up tall, and just make your chin and your nose heavy to your lead knee. Stay here or add a bind through the arms, maybe floating the left arm up, bending at the elbow, dropping it to your back, and seeing if you can interlace the two hands behind your back, or you could maybe just reach right hand for left elbow and tuck it in. Taking your little shoelace seat, we're going to find a half lord, looking for more twist through the trunk. Firmly plant your right foot into the floor. Start to rotate towards your lead knee, grabbing opposite hand to knee, or hooking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee with the stop hand, palm, or reaching long through the entire left arm. Look for that rotation through the trunk, peeking over your right shoulder, and using your right fingertips on the floor behind you for support. Hold that delicious little detoxifying twist through the body. When we undo this twist, we're going to ease our way into a hero seat. Begin to untwist the trunk, sweep your lead leg back, and reposition yourself so that you're in a kneeling-like frame. Knees closer together, feet wider apart, and we're trying to sit back to the floor, bum to floor between those 2 feet. You could modify with a pillow or a cushion. Stay here, maybe just warming the tops of your thighs, or maybe you'd like to play with your hero, thinking hands to floor behind you. You can do fingers away or fingers towards, maybe looking for a drop down to the forearms. Maybe you're looking to lie down on the back. Find what works for you. Pausing once you've found your hero of choice. Then walking your way up to that tall seat, we're going to come into more of a parallel leg line. We're going to tuck the toes under, and we're going to come to a toe breaker, bum to heel seat. Make sure that all 10 toes are engaged in the mat, and that you don't have your pinky toe floating. Stay here in your toe breaker stretch or find your way into a soft bound camel. Think of hugging your heels or just touching them and then coming into a taller kneel and bumping your hips over your knees. Thinking beautiful hollow back, opening up your throat and your chest to the sky. Then let go of your heels, come to a tall kneel and relax the bridges of your feet. We're going to take a sit off center to the right on our bum bone. We're going to drape our legs to the left. We're going to hold on to the left ankle and we're going to arc and frame with the right arm. Pause here for a moment as you find Bhaskara 1. Breathe in into the right side of your ribs. Then begin to sweep the right arm behind you, maybe tucking it behind your back, or maybe reaching for your left bicep with the right fingertips. Keep that bind and start to rotate your head so that you're looking over the right shoulder this time. Stay here in Bhaskara 1 or find your way into the next progression, looking for a half lotus seat. Maybe undo the arms. Find a sit on your right foot and then tuck the left leg into a half lotus line, thinking of bringing the left heel nice and close towards the inside of the right hip. And just take a moment to just find your seat, trying to relax both knees to the floor. Find a sit on that right foot so you are conditioning into the ankle and the foot on the right. Maybe just pause here or add a twist towards your right shoulder, thinking opposite hand to hip. Untwist when you're ready and find your way into a butterfly line. Thinking soles of the feet together, maybe scooch your perineum closer to your heels. Start to rock bum cheek to bum cheek, using your fingertips on the floor behind your hip line. Find your butterfly, press into the feet, make those knees heavy to the floor and just see how much opening you can get through the hips without forcing it. Then come into a seated forward fold, extending the legs out in front, maybe folding forward with a big toe lock, or you could do hands to legs. You could use a block, you could use a strap to modify. Wiggling around and then settling into your fold. Then peeling up into a cross-legged seat, right in front of left. Staying here in easy sit or translating it into more of a Siddhasana pose, taking your right foot and trying to insert it between the calf and the thigh on the left. Pause here, or maybe begin to play with it by rocking forward onto both knees, keeping that tuck. You're going to sit and rock up onto the knees, maybe 4 or 5 times dynamically. Try to end in the kneel, try to keep that tuck and come into a wide almost modified tripod-like kneel on the mat. Arms could be relaxed, or you could look for an interlace behind or in front of your trunk. Ease your way from here into a down dog. Hold the frame once you've found it. Stretch from your hips to your feet, from your shoulders to your hands. Lengthen the entire line of your spine. Think bum bones to sky, belly button pulled in. Begin to play dynamically with the left leg. Soften the left knee, kick up into a three-legged dog, and then start to play. One knee up plank, one three-legged dog. You're going to use that knee up action to find your way into a low lunge. Maybe reaching for the sky with your hands, or maybe interlacing and inverting the palms. Breathe into your chest center. Coming into a low lizard lunge, you're going to drop both hands to the inside of the lead leg. You're going to reach back opposite hand to foot if you can. And then remember to splay out the front foot and maybe peek over that left shoulder. If you'd like to modify, release the foot and maybe just press the inner thigh away on the left. If you are in the bind, think tiger, and really press the foot into your hands so that you're feeling that back quad. Think about how you can bleed your way from lizard into a really wide triangle. Let go the back foot, square up the front foot, plant your left hand firmly on the inside of that left leg, open up the back leg into a warrior two-like stance, and then straighten up your lead leg and hold. Looking for that rotation through the trunk, almost trying to stack the right hip on top of the left. Finding your way from here into a high lunge, start to bend the lead leg, pivot on the back foot, bring the heel off, maybe you're reaching in front, maybe you're interlacing the hands, inverting, thinking palms up. Maybe you need to relax the back knee to the floor if you need some support. Then release the back knee, but cross over the midline with the foot. And then take your shoelace sit, crossing left leg over right, knife edging the feet. Maybe reaching for your toes, making sure you're sitting on both of your sits bones. Think nose to knee, and just pause here for a moment. Allowing that left bum to start relaxing into the mat. Stay here or play with the arms, maybe floating right arm up, bending at the elbow, either hugging elbow in or looking for an interlace behind your back as you come into Gomukhasana. Translating your little shoelace seat into more of an active seated spinal twist. Undo the arms. Plant your left foot firmly on the floor. rotate towards your lead knee, grab with your hand, use your elbow, use the whole arm. Find your little half lord of the fish's seat. From here, we're going to come into hero, and if you know that you would like to come down on the back, just make sure you've got enough runway behind you. Start to undo your cook sister. Think knees together, feet wide. Take a seat. Maybe just relaxing those thighs. Maybe starting to play with the arms on the mat behind you. Find your way from here into a toe breaker seat. So you're thinking parallel leg line, toes tucked under, sitting back bum to heel, checking that all 10 toes are connected to the mat, working into those tight spots. Breathe. Stay or play. Reach for your heels and find your way into a camel line, thinking high heel, bumping your hips forward over your knees. Breathe into your chest, breathe into your throat. Then find your way into your Bhattacasana one, taking a seat on the left bum bone and draping your feet to the right, reaching for the right ankle, arcing and framing with the left arm, and just looking over your right shoulder. Breathe into the left side of your ribs. Stay here or sweep the left arm behind you, reaching with your fingertips for the right bicep. Find a hold, and then start to rotate your head in the opposite direction so that you're peeking now over the left shoulder. Stay here in Bhattacasana 1, or find your way into the second progression by finding a seat on your left foot and tucking the right leg into the half lotus line. Taking a moment to just wiggle around and find the seat that works for you. Maybe you'd like to add a twist to the left, opposite hand to hip, peeking over your left shoulder. We're going to find our way from here into a butterfly line. Untwisting your body. Taking a seat, thinking heels together, knees wide, maybe scooching your bum closer towards your perineum, finding that rocking release through the bottom. Then starting to still the legs and just thinking foot press with a nice wide knee line. Seated forward fold comes next, finding the variant that works for you. In sitting up nice and tall and finding your way into a cross-legged seat, left in front of right. Maybe you'd like to tuck the left foot in between the calf and the thigh on the right, staying or starting to rock and then sit. Maybe ending in that modified kneel, looking for balance. Maybe you like to play with the arms. From here, you're going to find your way onto the back for some supine play. Unravel your body and gently find your way onto the back, starting to hug your knees in towards your chest dynamically. Exhale as you tuck knees in, peeling your lower back off the mat. Inhale as you reground. Maybe using a nice audible cleansing exhale. End in the tuck. Peel your head and shoulders off the mat and draw your nose closer to your knees. Let go the left leg, allow it to ground, and keep hugging the right knee in towards your chest without rolling your body weight to one side. Stay here or start to walk your way, reaching for the right foot and tugging down into half a happy baby, bringing knee to armpit on the right. Back line relaxed, chin relaxed. Then come to a hand to big toe A-line here, maybe reaching for your big toe and extending the leg. Maybe you're holding onto the calf and extending. Maybe you're holding onto the thigh and extending. You could also modify with a strap. Find an A-line stretch and just pause here for a moment. Make the back of your ribs nice and heavy to the mat. Then let's tuck into a half lotus figure 4 stretch from here. So you're going to start to bend the right knee. You're going to bring the heel in towards the inside of the left hip bone. You're going to tuck into the half lotus line, holding onto the foot with both hands, and maybe starting to draw the left knee up. Stay here, or maybe rebind around the left knee. Keep a half lotus line and extend the left leg. Holding onto that right foot with your left hand and maybe just using the right arm to press the right hip and inner thigh out and away. Find your way from here into a wide straddle line, reaching for your inner thighs with your hands pressing down and away, or you could support from the outside, maybe resting on your elbows and supporting the weight of your legs. Start to bleed your way into a butterfly line, soles together, knees wide, maybe scooping up to reach for your ankles and coming into almost a hollow hold butterfly. Relaxing chin to chest, working into the arms and to the inner thighs and the legs. Maybe relaxing head and shoulders, releasing the hold of your feet, and just taking a moment in a relaxed supine butterfly. Taking a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, look for that little upasana knee to nose dynamic tuck. End in the tuck, maybe add a small chest lift. Let go the right leg, ground it. Start to find your way into half a happy baby on the left. Thinking knee to armpit, sole of the foot looking up to the sky. Back line fully connected, low roll. Transition into an A-line stretch when you're ready. Holding once you've found it. Inhaling and exhaling gently through your nose the whole time. Then finding your half lotus line with the left leg. Maybe coming into a knee up position on the right, so you're working a half lotus figure 4. Maybe you want to reposition around or rehug around the left knee. Right knee, sorry about that. I'm anatomically challenged today. Then open up into a straddle line, reaching from the inside to press your inner thighs down and away, or supporting from the outside. Then scooping up into a hollow hold like butterfly. Release from here into either a supine butterfly, or you could come into Shavasana, or you could just bend the knees and ground the feet for some active breath work. We're coming into Satkari, hissing breath. Close your eyes, take your focus inward. We're going to inhale through the mouth, exhale through the nose. Tip of the tongue connects to the palate. Soften your jawline and your lips and slurp some air in through the gaps in your lips and the teeth, making a hissing sound. Close your mouth and exhale nose. Find your pattern breath. When you're ready, transition to a normal inhale and exhale pattern breathing in a relaxed fashion through the nose. Then settle into a supine or a seated frame of your choice to end off today's practice with a few words to ponder. Keep your eyes closed and your focus inward. Healthy habits are learned in the same way as unhealthy ones, through practice. Make a conscious decision today to begin a practice of healthier thoughts and actions that put you in a better space mentally and physically. Your journey begins today. Let's end off today's practice with the words Om Shanti, finding that peace within, translating it throughout, finding those healthy habits. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. Till next time, keep it light.